Before there was money, there was a concept. Before there was wealth, there was imagination. In Chapter 6, Napoleon Hill makes a statement that reshapes how you view success. All riches begin as ideas. Not as capital, not as connections, not as luck, ideas. But this chapter is not about fantasy. It is about construction. Hill describes imagination as the workshop of the mind, the place where plans are formed. Strategies are developed, and desire begins transforming into something tangible. The world we live in today was first built in someone's imagination. Every invention, every company, every system began as a thought. The difference between those who imagine and those who create is execution. Ideas require execution to create value. This chapter separates dreamers from builders. Hill breaks imagination into two types, synthetic and creative. Understanding the difference clarifies how wealth is actually formed. Synthetic imagination is the rearranging of existing ideas. This is not about inventing something from nothing. It is about combining what already exists in a new way. A successful business model often takes familiar components and restructures them. A new product improves on an old one. A new service solves a known problem more efficiently. Synthetic imagination asks, how can I reorganize what already works? It does not require genius. It requires awareness and observation. If you study markets, analyze patterns, and identify inefficiencies, you can combine knowledge into something profitable. Creative imagination is different. Creative imagination refers to inspiration that feels intuitive or original. It is often stimulated by strong desire, emotional intensity, or focused concentration. Hill suggests that when your mind is aligned with a definite purpose and reinforced through repetition, creative insights begin to appear. These ideas may seem spontaneous, but they are often the result of subconscious processing. When you intensely focus on a goal, your mind searches for solutions beneath conscious awareness. Creative imagination surfaces those solutions. Both forms of imagination are necessary. Synthetic imagination builds structure. Creative imagination introduces innovation. But imagination alone is not enough. This is one of the most important lessons in the chapter. Ideas without action have no economic value. You can generate countless ideas, but unless they are organized, tested, and executed, they remain mental entertainment. Many people confuse thinking about success with building success. Thinking generates possibility. Execution generates progress. Imagination becomes powerful when connected to organized planning. Hill's structure is intentional. Desire defines what you want. Faith strengthens belief in attainment. Auto-suggestion programs the subconscious. Specialized knowledge builds capacity. Imagination creates design. But design must move toward action. This chapter also addresses a hidden barrier, fear of creativity. Many people suppress imagination because they fear criticism or failure. They dismiss ideas before testing them. They assume innovation requires extraordinary talent. Hill challenges that belief. Imagination is not reserved for inventors or artists. It is a tool available to anyone who cultivates it intentionally. If you have desire and focus, imagination activates. The quality of ideas often increases when emotional intensity is high. Strong desire stimulates mental creativity. When you deeply want something, your mind works harder to find solutions. When desire is weak, imagination is passive. This is why Hill emphasizes burning desire earlier in the book. Desire fuels imagination. Another key insight in this chapter is that imagination must be fed. Exposure to ideas, study of markets, observation of trends, and analysis of problems all expand synthetic imagination. Focused reflection, emotional rehearsal, and concentrated thought stimulate creative imagination. But imagination must not become distraction. There is a difference between ideation and procrastination. Constant brainstorming without execution creates the illusion of productivity. Once you act on an idea, you gather feedback. Feedback improves the idea. Improved ideas increase effectiveness. This cycle separates creators from spectators. Imagination also influences perception. When you train yourself to look for opportunity, you begin to see it. When you train yourself to expect limitation, you notice obstacles instead. Imagination shapes interpretation. It determines whether you see problems as barriers or as possibilities. Wealth creators use imagination strategically. They imagine solutions before others see them. They imagine scale before others attempt it. They imagine improvement before others accept mediocrity. But they do not stop at imagining. Hill reinforces a practical truth in this chapter. If you want to increase income, you must increase creative value. Value is often born from improved ideas, improved systems, improved communication, improved products, improved efficiency. Imagination drives improvement. The person who learns to rearrange knowledge creatively can build leverage. The person who waits for perfect inspiration often delays indefinitely. Imagination is not about waiting for brilliance. It is about active mental construction. The application focus is direct. Use synthetic imagination to reorganize what already works. Use creative imagination to generate new insight when emotionally aligned with purpose. But move quickly from idea to execution. Test ideas in reality. Refine through feedback. Because ideas alone do not produce wealth, execution converts imagination into income. Hill's message in this chapter is empowering. You may not control your starting resources. You may not control external circumstances. But you control your mental workshop. And within that workshop lies the beginning of every fortune.